before diving in your boxing career and all your fights, I want my listeners to know a bit about you.
I didn't ever have stability. I lived in different homes. My mother, she loved me and she like would have had me all the time, I reckon, if she could have, but she was just sick. She had her own demons, but it all like has made me and shaped me to like, who I am today.
You talk openly how you were in prison and you were a gang leader. So how did it all begin?
Twice I ended up with, once I lived with a pedophile family, and then I ended up with a basketball coach who was a pedophile. So when I was leader of the club, the gang, the community would come to us and they'd tell us about, certain pedophiles. Would find out. I became quite obsessed with it.
How did you tee yourself up to start training to everything? What was in your mind?
I just know that anything I think about, anything that is humanly possible is possible.
You have to be delusional.
As soon as I got out, I was ready to fight. I had a lot of trouble. Where I'm from, in West Australia, I had to fight. Everything's been a fight, even today. Everything's a fight, to fight.
Yeah, Connor's is a big supporter of
Very-
you. So how does
very
that
big
make
support,
you feel?
yeah.
I guess he's also your inspiration.
I feel like I'm finally where I should have been a long time ago. I feel like I should have, if I had the support and things like that, I probably would have, conquered the world in fighting, like when I was, in my early 20s. But then in saying that, maybe everything had to happen the way it did for me, to be where I am. So it's a very hard one. It's very, it's that emotional each time that I can't really explain to you my emotions.
Hello, welcome to Everybody's Lost podcast. I'm Veronica Muñoz Martinez, journalist and your host. And today we have a very inspiring and strong guest, Matt Floyd. He's an Australian boxing champion who is so inspiring hundreds of thousands of people. But his story goes far beyond the ring. He has a troubled past as a gang leader and spending more than half a decade behind bars. So today we are going to talk with him all things boxing, but not only that, also the mental resilience that it takes him to fight against his opponent and how you can also win any mental battle that you have and overcome every obstacle. So thank you so much, Matt, for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, before diving in your boxing career and all your fights, I want my listeners to know a bit about you. So, tell us a bit, how was your upbringing in Australia?
My upbringing was just different, and I'm thankful for everything that's happened and for everything. So it was a bit different, as in I didn't ever have stability. I lived in different homes. My mother, she loved me and she would have had me all the time, I reckon, if she could have, but she was just sick. She had her own demons and she was in and out of hospitals and she was sick all the time. So I'd have to stay in different places, which I did. And we had I stayed in some good places and some bad places. But it all has made me and shaped me to who I am today.
So, you talk openly how you were in prison and you were a gang leader. So how did it all begin? How did you become a gang leader?
So I was in and out of different bad groups, I guess, and little gangs and things like that, growing up as a teenager, and then as a young adult, I was in and out of, I went to prison and it happened overnight, I guess. The leader thing, I was sort of always a leader, and then it's a lot more I wouldn't, I'd have to do a whole podcast on how that all happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much I was the leader of a club. We've got white clubs in Australia. That's mainly our gangs. And I was very young, probably one of the youngest. I was probably, I think, 22 years old when I was made the leader. We were doing we weren't just doing bad things, we're also trying to do good things too. We're doing stuff in the community. We're doing a lot of community work, not just, everyone when people say like they want to know about, you know, what I went to prison for, which was kidnapping pedophiles.
So why were you
But there was
kidnapping pedophiles?
also other good things. That wasn't just the only good things we were doing. We're also doing other good stuff. We're doing a lot of charity, and there was a lot of good things, you know. I mean, I was, people go, oh, did you do that because, you know, like I live with a pedophile family, you know, and I actually got twice I ended up with, you know, once I lived with a pedophile family, and then I ended up with a basketball coach who was a pedophile. The pedophile family, they didn't like they weren't like so much, they didn't do stuff to us kids. I don't think they did stuff to the other kids themselves. Like they weren't abusing us themselves, but they're making us make videos. So they're making the kids, I was the oldest kid, would make videos, and we would all be like, you know, so it was for them to make money. But I ended up with a basketball coach. He was a proper pedophile. Like he was, I don't know how you can call someone a proper pedophile or not, but he was like, you know, he was a pedophile himself. So I think everyone should, you know, hate pedophiles and want to grab them if they could get away with it. And people go, oh, is that why you kidnap pedophiles? I don't really know the forbidden answer, like why I ended up doing what I did.
You wanted to take revenge.
I don't know if it's all these words people ask me. I'm not really sure. It just happened, and you know, and at the time I felt good about it, and you know, I mean, you know, like yeah, this is a very.
How did you find them? These pedophiles.
How did we find them? So in the community, people knew who I was already. As a teenager growing up, like you know, I had a few incidents which people knew about where I got a few pedophiles, and it became a thing. And when I was leader of the club, the gang, the community would come to us and they'll tell us about, you know, certain pedophiles. Would find out, and I put a lot of time into it. Like I'm not saying all saints were doing, you know, bad, some wrong things, but I put a lot of time into this. I became quite obsessed with it, and people would come to us, and obviously we wouldn't just go get someone that someone asked us to get, because it could be, you know, some girl's ex-boyfriend or something. We'll do our research, we'd make sure they're proper pedophiles. We'll do other things, like we had someone very smart around us who would pretend to be a kid and would make sure, and would, you know, would lure them in and things like that. So we'd make sure, and there was a lot of work around it, but once again, it's like you'd have to do a full podcast about that.
Yeah, of course.
But we made sure, and I truly believe in my heart 100% that I've never got anyone or hurt anyone that I think's innocent or knew was innocent. And I really, you know, maybe when I was younger, we might have jumped to a conclusion, but as an adult, especially when I was a leader, I made sure that they were pedophiles. Like I really, really made sure. Like there's no doubt that anyone wasn't, you know.
Yeah, and then that put you into prison for how many years?
For that, I did a few years on remand because of who I was. As soon as they locked me up for it, they wouldn't let me out. Anyone else would have got bail, so you would have been let out. But because of who I was, being the leader, they wouldn't let me out. So I had to do a few years and wait until I got sentenced for it. And then I ended up getting sentenced for 5.5 years after being in there. And that's the sentence I got.
How that shaped you into who you are now. I guess like 5 years in prison, you have a lot of to do a lot of inner work. You have a lot of time doing nothing, just thinking, reflecting on life, or training.
Yes, that's what I did. I trained for hours and hours and hours. You know, I spent most of my 20s in prison. Not 5 years. I spent, you know, most of my 20s. I was in prison as a teenager as well. But I spent this last time I was in there for training for hours all day, every day. Just training, and I was telling everyone in there that when I get out, I'm going to conquer the boxing world, which is what I'm doing.
You manifested it, right? Like you had that vision with yourself. Like,
and no one thinks you can do it. Everyone's laughing in prison. Yeah. And I'm, you know, I got out at 30 years old, and a few years later, you know, I'm conquering the boxing world. I'm beating the best fighters in the world on the biggest platforms in the world.
Yes, honestly, congratulations, everything you are doing, but also your past. And did people tell you that you are too old to start your boxing career and being a boxing champion at the age of 30?
Yeah. Well, no, not just because I was too old. You can be old, you know. You got people that are, you know, become champions in their 40s. But the reason why mainly people couldn't think it is because these people have been boxing since they were 5 years old or 10 years old. They've got Olympic teams. They've normally got people behind them, support, money, family. Like, you know, all the champions, either their father or their uncle or the Olympic team was behind them. There's no one that's self-made. There's no one that's trained themselves in front of a mirror and gotten out at 30 and done it. That's the big difference. It's not the age. It's the fact that I had no support and did it all on my own. That's what's never happened before.
And it was just you and your mindset because you didn't have any support at the beginning. So how did you teach yourself up to start training, to everything? What was in your mind?
In my mind, I've got so much self belief, and I back myself 100%. And I know that, I just know that anything, anything I think about, anything that is humanly possible is
Yeah.
possible. And I know, I've got a very strong mind. I know how big my heart is.
You have to be delusional. You have to believe in yourself, even if others don't believe in you. If you know deep in your heart that's what you are made for, you have to keep going. So then, when you left prison, that's when you started being more serious.
I started fighting straight away. As soon as I got
Mm-hmm.
out, I was ready to fight. I had a lot of trouble where I'm from in West Australia. I had to fight. Everything's been a fight, even today. Everything's a fight, to fight, to fight. I've never just been able to like have a fight. So when I got out, I had to fight, and I had to fight all these political people just to be able to fight, because they wouldn't let me fight because I was in jail for violence. Even on my argument was, oh, I just kidnapped pedophiles. And anyone that had a big name in boxing in Australia, people like Danny Green, like the biggest names in boxing, Angela Hyder and that in Australia, they were all supporting me, trying to get me to fight, because they believe what I did, what I went to prison for, was actually good. And I still couldn't fight. So we're fighting against that. So for years I couldn't fight. So I had to do things like go to other states, which were 5 hours away. Then I had to go to other countries.
So,
And I've been going to other countries and fighting, by myself. I've been rocking up to countries on my own, and fighting people on my own.
yeah,
That's what I did back then anyway.
yeah, like in your own country, they didn't.
They wouldn't let me fight at first. They let me fight in another state, and then it was just easier to fight in other countries. So yeah.
So how did you, from semi-professional to professional, how did that start? Like
So-
you started like your first fights, you were really successful.
Yeah, so my first fight was just like an expedition fight in Queensland, and then I went professional in boxing pretty much straight away.
Yeah, and how did you feel after that first fight? The beginning of everything, if you remember.
I can't remember. The first fight, I probably felt just overwhelmed that it was finally over. As in, like, I finally did it. Like, it probably was overwhelming at the time, because it would have been years, it would have been 10 years in the making.
Yeah. How do you train at a professional level? Like, what is your day-to-day basis?
So I like to do all my cardio in the morning when I wake up, and I do my own cardio. Because I'm very, I do it very hard. Like, instead of doing like cardio for 3 or 4 hours, I'll do like 30 minutes or 45 minutes of cardio, but I do it as hard as I can for that whole time. All the training I do, I like to do very intense, and but I only like to do. So I'll do very intense training every day for a couple of hours every day, rather than doing. So I'll do my cardio in the morning, and then I'll do boxing in the afternoons. If I've got sparring on that night, then no boxing. But then when I don't have sparring, I'll do some boxing. I'll do some pads with Tommy or with Phil.
Your
And
coach is with us today.
so yeah, so I was saying before that I've pretty much I trained myself up
Yeah.
until this year. I've reached the highest level now, and I've accepted, like, I realized that I need help. I want to keep beating the best in the world, and I need
Yes.
help, and I've got the best help. I'm at Crumlin
Coach,
Boxing Club.
The best coach.
He's-
He's next to us, and yes, like he trained Conor McGregor and many worldwide.
They've shown many champions. They've been around many
Yes.
champions. They've been around the best in the world for 30 or 40 years, or for a long time.
Yeah, how does that change, like from training yourself to having a
Having-
coach who can guide you?
Well,
and
that's probably a
everything?
podcast in itself,
Yeah.
because I'm so different. I'm actually teaching them things as well, like, because I'm so different. Even Phil Sutcliffe said, I've invented a new punch for them. I've only been there
Oh, what?
this year, and they're very fun. Like, they're very with their punches. They've got their own punches, which they have their own names. And sometimes boxers have been there for 50 the whole time and can't invent a punch. And I'm so different that in the first year I've been there, I've already invented a new punch from, and it's probably going to be a few more.
What makes you different from other
From other
boxers?
fighters?
Yeah, from other fighters.
What makes me different is people have trained a certain way. They've been taught how to box, but I trained myself. So I'm very unique. So people call it awkward, but really I just call it like a different style of boxing, which no one's ever seen before. And I've taught myself this for hours and hours and hours, like relentlessly. So I've actually mastered these different this different style.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how I like to call it. That when the boxing coaches have watched this for years, they don't know how to explain it. You know, but it works. I beat everyone. That's you know.
Yeah.
So.
How many fights? Well, you told me you have done many fights. Like how many roughly?
How many fights have I had? I think I've had like 17 professional fights, and I've had about 10 of the other fights. So you know, your BKFC was my last one. Then you got your expedition fights, and then I had a celebrity fight like against Shane Mosley, and then things like that. So the different fights to the box rec. So all up, I probably had probably like 30 fights or something. I don't know.
How was your last fight? It was in Manchester, with a big fighter and also
so James DeGale's Olympic gold medalist. 2 times he's a world champion. He's one of the English greatest fighters that they've of all time. And I fought him in Manchester. I was the main event. It's funny because I've just come over from Australia and I've just headlined 2 of the biggest shows in England, the last 2 shows. So I headlined that show against James, and and that was a great experience. Everyone thinks I won, which is great. And Connor was there, and he was I got to see him.
Yeah, Connor's is a big supporter of you. So how does that make you feel? I guess he's also your inspiration, like someone you used to look up to, and now he supports you a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's it was great, man. It was a great experience having him. The words after the fight, the things he was saying about me being a warrior and all that stuff. Shane Mosley, who was another idol, he said the exact same things, and hearing them things from these people after the fight, and yeah.
So I just want to get inside your mind a bit, and just how, what do you think? How do you feel after a fight, after winning, or you are just so euphoric? And
how do I feel? To be honest, my fights have always been very overwhelming for me because I've got there's so much going on, and I feel like I lost so much time. I always feel like I always think about what's next.
Yeah.
So it's very hard. I feel like I'm playing catch up. My attitude, my mindset might have to change a bit with that. I might have to start enjoying and being more present in the moments.
Yeah.
But I'm very motivated and things like that, and I feel like I'm finally where I should have been a long time ago. I feel like I should have if I had the support and things like that, I probably would have, conquered the world in fighting like when I was, in my early 20s. But then in saying that, maybe everything had to happen the way it did for me, to be where I am. So it's a very hard one. It's very, it's that emotional each time that I can't really explain to you my emotions.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I need to start being more present and start being, I'm at where I wanted to be now. So maybe hopefully, I'm fighting Billy Joe Saunders next. That's going to be a massive fight. Hopefully, after I win that fight, I'll be able to celebrate and be able to tell you how I felt when I won the fight after the next one.
Yeah, tell me, your next fight is in February. So tell me about that fight. What are your hopes from it?
Yeah, well, Billy Joe Saunders is a massive name in England. He's huge. It's where I should be. It's where I want to be. And after beating him, the world will be my oyster. So I'll be able to fight anyone I want after that fight. So. Yeah, it's where I want to be, and it's going to be a great fight and a great test.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I've got to put my money where my mouth's been. I've been talking about these big fights, and it's going to be ahead of me, and now I've just got to do what I keep telling everyone I can do.
Yeah. So how are you going to prepare for that?
The same way. I'm gonna run very hard, have heaps of hard sparrings, and listen to my corner.
Yeah.
and listen to my corner.
What's the biggest advice he has ever told you that you keep it with you, your coach?
What I just said then, that I need to start listening to my corner. So that's what I just
Yeah, and what would you say to your next opponent? What if you had him in front of you? What would you say to him?
Like what I always say to all of them, you don't know, it's going to be great fun. You have no idea, like what's going to happen in there, because people don't realize. Like people watch me and they think something, they don't realize what it's like, and so they get in there and everyone says the same thing.
And when you are in the ring, also I think this is something a lot of people like to know. and you are getting punched and everything, how do you concentrate and you don't lose control, you don't lose focus? Because sometimes it can be really hard for you when your whole face is bleeding, you have a lot of scars in your face from it. So how do you do it?
You don't really think about any of that. I'm pretty calm. You just stay calm. You don't think about any of that. You try not to get punched and you try to punch them. When I get punched and things like that, I don't really feel anything. You don't really know about it. And then the next day, you don't really know about it. So it's like, you don't really remember getting hit so much. When you're sparring, you remember good hits and things like that. But in the fights, you don't really remember them.
Do you think like you are kind of like boxers are immune to pain a bit?
I'm not immune to pain because, like I hate having my hair ripped off. I hate tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not immune to pain, but I don't feel punches much. Very rarely have I ever. I think there's only been one hit in one fight or in anything that I can remember. I've gone, oh, that I felt that punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, mate. I don't think it's like fighters trying to be tough or me trying to be like a tough. I don't feel pain things. I definitely feel pain, but just not in fights.
Yeah. Like you are in this moment of adrenaline and everything, right?
And adrenaline, but then when you're sparring, you don't have adrenaline. I don't feel it so much as well, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's like I don't know. You enjoy it, like you don't really feel it that way.
Yeah, and so it's great when you win. I guess you feel good, or well, you told me you are really ambitious and you think about what's next. But also there's like the bad side that when you lose, what keeps you going after a loss?
The fact that I know that I haven't lost keeps me going, and everyone sort of supports that. So like I haven't really lost a fight yet, because the ones that have said I've lost, everyone around me, everyone that's watched it have been controversial. I'll give you an example. The last fight, the stats where I hit him 90 times to his 45. And even you get messages from the owner of the show who like, who are like pretty much, they know you won the fight. Like, what can I say? So it's like I know that I didn't lose that last fight, so it doesn't really bother me. And, when I actually do lose a fight, then I'll probably be able to have a better answer because, you know what I mean? Then I can actually tell you what I feel like because I've never actually lost a fight yet.
Yeah, you are sure of yourself and your capabilities of fighting that you, like, it doesn't bother you what other things.
Yeah, and it's not me being like a sore loser or anything, so I don't really care. It's just the facts, like the it's facts, and also the stats don't lie. Like, the last fight I had, I literally hit him 90 to 45 times.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me. I just I know,
Yeah, and sometimes, well, I saw on Instagram some controversial things like sometimes your opponents, they want to kind of distract you or make you angry, like some.
Oh yeah, no, I find it all funny. I post that on purpose.
Yes.
'Cause I have fun with it all. I like it. If you don't have trolls, you're not really doing that well. You want people like talking shit about you. The more people talking shit about you, the better.
Yeah.
And I have a lot. I actually truly enjoy it. Unless someone said, like saying really like bad that wasn't true. You know what I mean? Like, but like even then, like it would be off like someone you've never heard of. It's if someone you really cared about said something bad to you, then that would probably hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you need to have a really strong mindset and don't let anybody shake you.
No, nothing bothers me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, most of it is like fake accounts anyway. And the ones that are real, like, are just jealous, like, I've got boxers that are like had 20 wins now who have like 100,000 followers who are trolling me now. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
It means, they're being, like, it means I'm doing well,
Yeah, all press is good press.
And I never troll anyone, man. I want everyone to be successful. I genuinely do. And I don't think negative, and if I think someone's a bad person, I won't put any energy or time into that person. I just won't think about them. So I don't know how people like sit there and talk shit about people, because it's like I just wouldn't put any energy into that, because nothing good was going to happen from that.
Like you have to focus on yourself and your like everything. So yeah, like also like in Australia, how did that affect you when they started talking about you, that you were a prisoner or this or that? Like, do you wish they recognize you more there than they do, for example, in the UK or other places?
To be honest, people usually speak pretty good. Like, I hear quite a lot, like, you should have been given a medal. You actually did good and stuff like that. I don't really hear too much bad. It's more how it's affected my life. Like, it's been very hard to fight. It's been hard to leave the country. It's hard, people, you look at me differently. It's hard to get sponsorship. It's hard. It's affected me financially. But people with my prison offense, really, that's helped me more. No one's ever really trolled me or said anything bad. People normally troll me and be like, "Oh, you're a shit fighter" or something. You know what I mean? Or they might say something. I don't know. They might give me shit or whatever. I don't know. But they don't troll me about that. That's just made my life hard. It's made it very, very hard. The offense. You know what I mean? It hasn't. People haven't really like said bad things, and if they do, they probably say it behind my back, I guess. Like I've never seen anything because it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to give someone that's kidnapped a pedophile. Someone that's kidnapped a pedophile, you know, you can't really talk shit to them. You know, oh yeah, you know, like fuck, I don't know.
A part of that way you can get in sponsorships and everything, and that must be tough. But you are doing all of this also for a bigger purpose because you want to take kids out of the street. You don't want kids or young people to follow your steps of being a gang leader. It's like you are not glamorizing that lifestyle. Actually, you want people to learn from you in a way like you can turn your life around.
Absolutely. So like, sure, I could go kidnap, you know, a few more pedophiles and spend the rest of my life in prison. And then, you know, they'll just get out. They'll get a bunch of money. They'll get looked after. It's the worst way to go about it. I literally don't want to see, like, I get a lot of messages from kids, teenagers saying, man, like, you know, I did this and I did that. And I'm always saying, man, it's not what I want. I'm trying to show you is the opposite. I'm trying to show kids and even adults that are in prison now, 30-year-olds or kids that if there bad things that happen, they've been abused, I'm trying to show them a different path. I'm trying to make it so they know that they can make it because they can. Because if I can, they can. And that's what I'm trying to show them. That I'm trying to show them not to go down the bikie leader path, not the gang leader path. Don't do what I did. Don't take the law, you know, into your own hands and all that stuff. Do what I'm doing. Reach a platform, talk about it all. Reach platforms, talk about it, and that's how you're going to beat it. Because you know the awareness and then everyone coming together and knowing about it. And that, I mean, if everyone knows about it and out some more, you know, that's how we're going to keep kids safe and that's how we're going to protect them. And also, we're also going to teach the kids positivity and the adults, and we're going to show them a different way for when they get out of prison or whatever, that this can be done. So I'm trying to show them the complete opposite of that. I'm trying to, that's my whole point.
Yeah, to inspire them, and where you are inspiring hundreds of thousands. And what would you tell to these kids, for example, if there's a young person or not so young, like in a very difficult moment of their life? So what would you tell them to get them out of the streets or doing something really bad?
What would I tell them? I'll just tell them that like watch me, like look at what I'm doing. Like you can 100% can do it. Like I started late. I trained myself. Like I did everything against all odds. I didn't have any support. You know, like I'm telling them that they can do it. That's the biggest advice is like watch me. Also, like I've built places, you know, in Perth and hopefully other people follow that, where there are places where the kids can just go and get that extra, you know, everyone needs help. You know, I've accepted help this year. And yeah.
Basically, sports is really good for mental health and to keep people out of the streets, addictions and alcohol and everything, right? So has have a good impact in your mental health. But how do you keep that strong mindset, like so positive, so on the go, like
how
every day? So
it's just easy to me because I know that like all that's just negative and it's a waste of time, and I just stick with my goals. Every time I have a negative thought, I go back to my goals. I think about something bad, I go back to my goals. I just know that this is the way, you know, like I just know that all that, you know, say for example, I know that if I have a drink, I know that I'm just going to feel like shit the next day and probably the day after that, and it's just not worth it. Like there's no point, you know, that's taking days. Tomorrow I won't be able to train, and the next day I won't be able to train. Like it's a waste of days I should be training, and because each day I can be bettering myself to beat the best in the world. And, you know, I'm being, you know, drinking and wasting that night and the next 2 days and being sick, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, so many people, they don't realize how alcohol and substances can really ruin their lives, like how they need to like get away from it. And more in the UK or everywhere, it's like so normalized. But to be an athlete like you have to be really healthy. So how does your diet look like before?
I'm the worst person to ask. Right, that's where I'm wrong. So how people have their issues with drugs and alcohol, I have issues with
sweets,
with sweets, with lollies and food and that. I just come good. Like I'll eat what I want, like straight after the fight and things like that. And then come, you know, 4 or 5 weeks away from the fight, I'm very lucky that my body adapts very weirdly and fastly. So like I could lose 11 kilos in a week and put on 15 kilos for the fight. I've got a very, you know, great body type for fighting. So I'm lucky because if it was hard for me to lose the weight and things like that, it'd be very hard, like unlucky, because I eat what I want pretty much all year round, and then about 4 or 5 weeks away from the fight, I just cut everything down. And I can do it because it's not hard, because I know I have to. I know that, you know, I have to do that to make the weight to fight. So I can do it. I'm pretty disciplined then, but then when I don't need to be, I'm not disciplined at all. You know, with food and sweets and that, but not with anything else.
Yeah, and well, in few months you will have to do that in prepare, and you are telling me you are always thinking about the future. So what does success look like for you? How would you say, okay, I'm now successful and I'm content where I am?
Well, when I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to. I'm not sure. People ask me this question, like, when will you actually be happy after you've done this or that? I'm not really sure. Hope, I truly believe, I'll win this next fight, and this fight is going to, like, anyone that knows the world that I'm in knows that when I win this fight, the world is my oyster. I'll be able to fight anyone I want. It's such a big fight, this fight. So maybe after this fight, maybe I'll be happy, I'm not sure. I don't think, I definitely feel like right now I want to do more than that, and I can do more than that, but, we'll see. I'm going to think more about being present after this fight, I think.
Yeah, that's your goal.
We'll see how it happens. Yeah, well, it's going to be the last thing on my mind, because everything else will be about the fight, but then I'll remember to think about that after the fight.
So be happy where
Send me a message after the fight, remind me.
Or you need to invite me to the fight, maybe.
Yeah. I thought, you can come, you can do the reporting. Yeah.
I never watched a fight, so for me, I think it would be impressive. So.
Yeah, no, it'll be great fun. Yeah, no, it's good fun.
Yeah, and how do you see yourself, like maybe in 10 years' time?
I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm trying to be.
You look in the future, but not so long term, like in the future.
I look like maybe I look like a year or two in the future, if I'm really, really lucky, and I really try. I try, I'm trying to. Yeah, I definitely don't think that far ahead. Definitely don't. Or maybe, I'm looking at about a year or two ahead at the moment.
Yeah. And what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I'm hoping in like a year's time, I'll be like, at the top of the world, fighting the best in the world. The next guy is the best in the world, but I'm hoping, have another 3 or 4 more fights like him. I want to fight whoever the best in the world is in my division. I want to fight the biggest and the best fights in the world.
Who would you fight, dead or alive?
No one's asked me dead or alive. People say today, or normally I can name one of each. Who would I fight, dead or alive? Still probably. The reason why I say this is because it's Canelo. The reason is because when I had this when this started for me in prison, when I said I'm going to conquer the box world, and I've always wanted to fight my whole life, but when I got really strong in the mind about it and really dedicated, was in prison, and Canelo was the best. He still probably is. If he's not, he's very close to the best in the world today. He was definitely the best at the time. So when I thought about it, and so that's sort of where my mindset is. So probably him because of that reason, because that's what sort of like he was the best when I got fully driven. He was who I wanted to beat. He was my goal back then. So now that's very, I guess, what always say important. Even right now, if you ask me who my number one dream fighter, and it's cliche because a lot of people say Canelo, but he is, because he was the best at the time when I was in prison.
You got inspired. So will you watch him? Like, did you watch him on TV?
I watched a little bit of him. The guy I'm fighting now next, his last fight was Canelo.
Oh, okay.
So, and he was actually beating, like he was doing well against Canelo, I don't know, but yeah, he was actually doing well against Canelo. And then he, I think he like broke his face or his eye or something. So if that hadn't happened, who knows, So it was a very, the guy I'm fighting is definitely, he's up there. He beat everyone else before that.
But still you are optimist about that you are going to win, that you see yourself capable of winning whoever is in front of you.
Yeah, I'll definitely beat him. And I believe if you put Canelo in front of me, I'll beat him too.
Yeah.
Definitely, no doubt in my mind.
And we were telling about who will you fight, dead or alive, but there's one really controversial fight so that you publicly share that you want to fight against Andrew Tate. So
Okay,
why?
yeah. Well, I actually know people that know him. I'm friends with one of his good friends. It was actually, I mean, it was talked about. I mean, there's probably 100 other people that were talking about fighting him, and I pushed it as far as I pushed it. I actually got pretty far. I mean, a lot of millions and millions of people saw that that me offer him. I made it. There was a poster made about me and him fighting, and millions of people saw it. So and there was talk around it, and I had people backing in the fight as well. He's fighting like someone very, very easy. Like it's it's a give me fight. Like he's definitely going to win that fight. And it is what it is. If an opportunity comes, I would fight him. But the guy I'm fighting next is a lot better than Andrew Tate. Oh yeah, far better.
You don't think Andrew Tate is not the best fighter?
He's not the best fighter in the world. He's got the biggest name in the world.
Yes.
One of the biggest names in the world. The guy I'm fighting next is a much. I'll get a lot more respect for beating him in the boxing world in the fight world, 100%. But I won't get as much money or as much fame. I'll definitely get a lot of fame from beating him.
You think like
but
Andrew is not?
But
like
Andrew, if you fight Andrew, you get fame just from fighting him because it's Andrew Tate. But Andrew Tate's a much easier fight than the guy I'm fighting.
You think it's easier fight? Like he's playing against easy opponents.
His is a show fight. Like it's more of a show. The guy he's fighting's never like fought anyone. Like the guy he's fighting's had like a couple of fights against people that have never fought before. Like he's never been in a fight in his life. The guy that he's fighting, Andrew's been in real fights like kickboxing fights and that, but he's not. You know what I mean? He hasn't fought in like 5 or 10 years. He's 40 years old. Like it's just a money fame fight. And the only reason I wanted that fight was because then I'd be at the highest platform, and then I could fight someone like Canelo or the guy I'm fighting now next, because I want to show that I'm the best in the world, not the most famous in the world. Yeah. But I was using that fame. I was going to beat Andrew Tate and use that fame to fight the best in the world. But I'm fighting the best in the world now anyway.
Yeah.
If you could ask me if I'd rather fight Andrew Tate or Billy Joe Saunders, who I'm fighting, I'd say Billy Joe Saunders all day, every day, because he's one of the greatest fighters in the world. Andrew Tate's not. Andrew Tate's probably the most famous guy in the world.
But not the strongest.
So it's if I wanted fame or legacy and glory, and I wanted legacy, that's what I want. Of course, I'm going to get money for this fight, but a lot more with Andrew. But I'd choose the legacy and the money over just the money and the fame. He knows about it. He watches your stories and everything. He knows that you want to fight him. Andrew?
Yeah.
Well, I speak to, I've got one of his best mates I'm good friends with. He's about to have his first boxing match. Good luck to him. He's fighting just before Andrew in Dubai. And we speak, and he knows about it. And apparently he likes me and my story. And I've, I don't know much. I don't follow stuff much, but people send me clips of Andrew, like 1 minute clips. So when I was trying to fight him, some news person asked me, they're like, do you like Andrew and his stuff? And I can't give an honest answer. I like him he's always been all right, with me. There's no issue. But when they ask me about his stuff that he does, what he talks about, I don't actually know. He's never done anything wrong to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I don't know enough. I haven't researched, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to watch.
It's not your duty also to care about his bad person or not. It's just your duty is to fight against him, and what you care about is like his abilities.
I've got bad ADHD anyways. If someone said you need to watch one of his 1 hour podcasts, I wouldn't be able to. I can't even watch I can't watch my own stuff. You know what I mean? I'd watch a minute of it. And the minute's probably going to be a good minute because it's going to be something that someone chose me to watch.
So you have ADHD.
Bad ADHD, can't you tell?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And how do you stay focused with the ADHD? Or I feel like ADHD, the thing that they have is they can hyper focus in the things they like.
It's extremely hard. It's extremely hard to say. I just have to manage it and try my best, and I'm aware of it, and I just got to keep coming back. I just know that I've got ADHD, and I just deal with it.
Yeah. But that's
as best as possible.
How do you stay consistent, having ADHD?
I just do it. Probably helps. Maybe it helps for people that have ADHD out there. I mean, look at me once and again, and don't use it to your advantage. It must help me because I've reached the pinnacle. Like I'm at the top end. I just got out of prison a few years ago, and I'm where I'm at. So, and I've got bad ADHD. It's a huge part of my life. So obviously, it's helped. Yeah. Or it's made it, or me dealing with it's helped. Who knows? Whatever. There's nothing wrong with it. Just use it to your advantage. It makes me probably more whenever you get into something, you really get into it. So when I get into my training, like I said before, instead of a lot of people, they'll train maybe twice for 2 hours each time. For me, I'll just train as hard as I can for 45 minutes. That probably helps a lot. The fight's only for 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. These bare knuckle fights are 10 minutes. So the fact that I train that way, my ADHD, I train like a maniac for a short amount of time instead of, just jogging for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's probably helped. That's probably why I'm so explosive.
Yeah. Because I talk a lot about mental health in my podcast because I want people to know, like, if they have a mental health problem or they have gone through something like you, it's not an obstacle. Actually, it makes them who they are, and it's like their superpower. You have to take it that way, right? Like you did, like your past and your ADHD is making you to be where you are, and you will be like next. Like that will be amazing.
Yeah.
And so and talking about the next fights and everything. So, for example, the morning before a fight, how do you prepare? Like just like the morning before a fight.
The morning of the fight?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone always asks me before my fights, how do I feel? And I genuinely am fine. Like I'm actually all right. But then about the night before the fight is when I start like the thoughts start creeping up on me. And then that morning I wake up, I that's when I start thinking. Like on the day of the fight, I always start thinking about the fight and did I do this right? And did I do that right? And what if this happens? And and then I just play PlayStation. I play my PlayStation.
It distracts you.
Yeah, I do. I play PlayStation all day. I like to be left alone. Like I just stay in my room. My mates or my team around me, they'll get me what I need. Like the Hydrolyte or the water or the food that I need to eat on that day. So I always eat the right stuff or try to. But it normally comes to the room and I just stay in my room. I play my PlayStation. I'll get on the phone. I'll just keep busy, mainly with the PlayStation, to be fair. And then I start thinking about the fight maybe an hour before the fight or however long it is because I have to go down there and then get in my room and get ready and stuff. And then I do my routine with the coaches and then and then I stay focused on the fight you don't want to go down 5 hours and get focused 5 hours before a fight. So you want to go
exhausted, there. Right?
Yeah, you want to go there. Even when I get there, I just chill for a bit and then probably 30 to an hour before the fight as you start really getting focused.
Do you have any ritual like meditation or something just the minutes before?
I say my prayers, and stuff like that. We do a prayer before the fight. Also, I have a ritual.
He's Irish, so.
You are Irish. You have Irish blood.
My mother's Irish. I've always been spiritual. I've only Tommy's only done the prayers in the last few fights before, but before that I always was spiritual. I just didn't know how to pray. I've always tried to like find God and talk to God, and I've always been spiritual. I just it's been very hard for me. So, but I've always tried and I've always believed rituals, other stuff. I'm definitely going to bring a prayer to God into my ritual. I haven't got a ritual because it's been different every time, but I'm trying to get one. Like I'm trying different things. Works. I do meditation. I do the PlayStation. I do things. Which
meditation do you do?
Just breathing. So I do I'll breathe like for 4 seconds and I hold for 4, then I'll let out for 8. I've got holding the breath. I've got like this other one. I've got quite a few breaths that I can do. I do the holding the breath. I do different things. I do meditation. So where I'll lie there and I've got a couple, but this last fight I actually got a new meditation. It's where I thought about like my last win and then I thought about my greatest moment and I brought it together and then I put that together. Anyway, it's just a meditation. But I've got a few and I'm working on a routine. But it's pretty similar. But I'm gonna work on one. I'm just adding all these things to it. But my mother is Irish. That's how I got. She's not actually how I went to Ireland this year. I ended up in. It's funny. So I ended up in Ireland by accident. That's another.
How did you end up in Ireland?
So I went there by accident. So I wasn't supposed to go to Ireland. I went there just by a freak accident. Moments like it was a seconds decision thing where I went there by accident. I got there. I was only there for a few hours for the day, and our taxi driver, started talking to us about boxing all by accident. And so my mother's from Ireland. I knew my mother was from Ireland. I didn't know how big Ireland was. I didn't know about different areas, right? So my mother's from there. And then I ended up at a place where the taxi driver took me, the Black Forge, so Connor's pub. And then there, we started talking. Like I almost didn't get in there because it was fully booked. But luckily, someone recognised me through boxing just by accident. And then I started talking to other people, and that's how I linked up with Phil Sutcliffe and Crumlin Boxing Club. And then, funny enough, my mother was from Crumlin. I never knew this, so I didn't. Like I was saying earlier, with my mum, I was not with her all the time, so I didn't know so much about her. Her family all know about her, but a lot of them didn't know about me. So I've met quite a few of them now since I've been there, because I've been there most of the year.
So you try to find.
But how I accidentally, so I went to the place that she is from, the actual like suburb.
Do you
like
think
the
it's destiny?
Crumlin.
It was destined.
Well, a lot of things have happened since then, that have felt that way. A lot of people have been telling me that I need to really find God right now, and it keeps coming to me. A lot of things just keep happening, and it's too like coincidental now. I'm a very logical person. It's very hard to make me like 100% believer. My whole life, I've 95% believed in God, if that's what you want to call it. I've always believed in God more than anything else, but I've never been able to really, and it feels like, I don't know, I'm really getting called, and then I came home to Ireland and I felt like I was home. It was different. Obviously, my mother's, and I never knew that she was going to be from there, and then that just happened by accident. So, and she's got relatives in Crumlin still now.
Oh, yeah. And how did it feel to meet this big coach who has trained Conor McGregor and these big names in boxing?
It's all very surreal, all very emotional, all very like, everything happens so fast. It's a mixture of emotions, but it also feels like destiny. It feels like home. I've said that at the start there, I felt like I was at home, when I first landed there off the plane. So it's always been that way. And it's just been all too many freak accidents and coincidences.
It's luck as well, and I guess you feel so lucky and fortunate of that. And how was that transition from training alone to where you are at now, training like there's more structure? What's different training in a club from training alone?
I feel like I'm more like it's hard for me to accept help. I'm probably very hard to train. But we're everyone. It's great.
Your coach is back there laughing.
Yeah. But it's also a great feeling because I know that I'm also like I remember Phil said to me, he goes, I'd stop training people if there's something more happening. He's like, I'm glad I met you because you're teaching me so much more. Like I never knew this could, the things I'm doing it's all new to him now. So it's like it's a great feeling knowing that I'm like I know I'll be hard work being hard to train, but also it's a good feeling knowing that I'm hard to train at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just like it's like a give and take now relationship, and I feel like it's special, like I like the fact that I'm different.
Yeah, you are learning from each other, and you need to have your own personality as a boxing player. Like you can get inspired, but what makes you unique is really important, like your type of pants, your.
It's a great feeling when I throw a different shot, and you see Phil or Tommy, they'll sit there and they'll just be laughing and they'll say it because they don't know, and it's great to see that, it's good, it's fun, and it's like they call me like have you ever seen the movie Forrest Gump?
Yeah, I've seen. Yes.
Forrest Gump does everything. Like when he runs funny. Table tennis, he plays it funny. He does everything awkward and funny. I never actually knew this because I always tell people I'm the same. So now that's like you're like Forrest Gump, but he always becomes the best at it. So he was the best table tennis player. He was the best at everything he did. Yeah. I do everything funny. I run funny. I play basketball funny. I played football funny. But I always like do everything at such an elite level. And fighting, I do at the most elite level. Like I literally overcome anything in front of me in fighting. So I'm like the Forrest Gump of boxing.
Well, Forrest, they call you Forrest Gump, but also
he calls me Forrest, but no one else does.
Why? It's his nickname.
No, it's not my nickname. He just calls me.
We call him Kitog in Irish. Kitog in Irish means he's gifted. Matt is very, very hard to read as a boxer. That's a gift and it's exceptional.
So those are things that maybe you don't see on yourself, but like from when they see from outside, and your coach, is really nice to have a coach that really admires you, because it's not only like he's coaching you, but that like he trained Conor McGregor, so to decide to train you, need to have something special, and he's as he's telling me, like, you are gifted and you are like adapt really well and everything. And how has it changed for you? Because I think to work
It's been
with
huge
him,
because I was just about to say it's been massive for me because as much as I say like I've done everything on my own and this and that, it does help hearing things from people that like that,
it's so
especially from
cute.
home and things like that. It does. Even though I try to be this, I've done everything on my own, this and that, it does help. And I'm at that level now where I probably, I need that support. And it's also like I don't watch myself and I don't see myself and, they do. So it's like good, I need, positive, what's the word, reinforcement, and things like that. And it's great because I don't see the things, that they, and it's just, it's great to have. I'm not used to it, but I'm and in the past I wouldn't be able to probably do it because it's like it's been very hard for me, even but I'm becoming more and more accepting, and it's I'm seeing things more and more.
Yeah. Do you think you can be hard on yourself, like too strict, and you don't see all these good traits that people see about you, or you are I think you are really confident, right?
Yeah, but I always had to muster that for myself from where I came from coming out of prison to this. I had to muster all that confidence on my own, and I couldn't listen to anyone because if I had, I wouldn't be here today if I listened to anyone. So, but now I've earned where I'm at now, and hearing it is probably important right now because I'm at that thing now, and who knows what my life would have been like. I asked Phil the other day if I was boxing with you 10 years ago, and he reckons nah. He goes, you had to do the things that you've done and come to me now when you came to me, which is crazy. It's crazy. So, and but yeah.
Do you think if you have never gone to that pub and then...
Well, he said to me, like, if I didn't do all these things that I'm doing, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do, But now they don't want to change me because what I do, what they tell me is special. But they want to refine it, fine tune it, if that's the right word. And they want to add, a couple of things to my Jedi powers.
So...
yeah. So we call it the Force. So Phil calls it the Force. Which is Star Wars, like the Force.
Why do they call you the Jedi? They call you, your coach calls you Force guy. Why do they call you?
It's funny that they call me the Jedi. It's funny that I got that nickname because everything I do in the ring and the way I train and everything is actually quite Jedi mind-like. Yeah. Jedi is a lot of force and you can see things before they happen. And I can see a lot in the ring that people don't normally see. I react very well and it's all natural to me. It could be gifts. Hopefully it's a gift from God. It could be, the Force, like Phil calls it, I'm trying to work it out, but it all works and I'm just training as well on top of it all. So
do you think that as a professional athlete, your coach, if is the right coach, it makes such an impact? Like you have to choose your coach right because it can have a positive or negative impact on you, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely, especially where I'm at now. If I had the wrong coach right now, who knows what could have happened. So I've got the right coaches right now that understand me and aren't trying to, they're not trying to change me. If I had a coach trying to change me, I could start, I'd probably start losing or it could be bad for me, man. Who knows? Right now I've got people that are understanding. I'm from, we're all from Ireland. Yeah. I'm learning all that and also, and it's like, and I needed that too. I probably needed that growing up the way I did, never having he's Irish dad now. So it's like it's good.
Yeah, he's like because you grew up without a family with your mom and everything, but he's now like a father figure.
I'm such a big kid still.
Yeah, and you need love as well. Like we are talking about your boxing career and how you are strong-minded and everything, but everyone needs love and everyone needs support and everyone needs a family, and that's what you have found being in this club and with this career. You have found your community and your family as well.
I think I always needed. I'm always looking without realizing it, like for role models and things like that, because I never really had a role model. So it's like, I think, you probably need that at this level. You need that, support where you can it's hard because otherwise you're just talking to yourself all the time, and you need someone, that's yeah, or even someone, not even someone that you need to go to, someone that you go backwards and forwards with, argue with. You know what I mean? You need that. Otherwise
you can arguments is like important.
It's good. It is.
Are you stubborn? Are you?
Yeah, very stubborn. But the Irish, have you ever met an Irish person before?
Well, not like.
So I've always been stubborn, and now that I've gone to Ireland, I understand myself a lot better. Now it all makes sense, especially after meeting Tommy. You know what I mean? Because there's so many little habits and so many little things that I've worked out now.
Stopping.
You know what I mean?
If you,
Like,
you're an
I thought I was stubborn until I went to Ireland.
It's strong.
But it's good because like sometimes I need to argue because normally I won't. Normally I just sort of do, and now like it's good,
You need to accept like the criticism as well. Like it's not that everything you are doing is perfect. You need to accept when they tell you something is bad and everything, and to improve it, right?
Yeah, and I do, and I'm getting better at it too because I never did in the past. I've always had, I was a boss, early on in life, so I've always had a lot of people sort of telling me like, maybe more what I want to hear and stuff like that. So it's like it's probably a good time for me to get criticism, and I'm getting better at it because when I first got criticism, I probably didn't know how to take it. But now I'm getting it more and more. And I'm getting better and better with it. And criticism's not always right either, but I'm working it out now at least.
Yeah,
And I'm a pretty smart person. I can work things out pretty fast. So it's good.
Yeah. And also, well, you also coach young kids, young teenagers back in Australia. So what do you tell them to these kids who are lost and on a really dangerous situation on the streets? What do you tell them?
I really focus. I really try my hardest with them. You got people that will tell kids they need to get counselling and help and go back. I really don't believe in that. I really believe in putting everything in the past, having goals and reaching them. And I try and help them reach their goals. I try and facilitate that. So that's what the gym is back at home. And if I can, like I've done things like I've got the boys their mouth guards and their suits and their stuff. I've even got boys plane trips to other states where they've got fights. And I've tried my hardest to facilitate that as their goals, whatever their goals are. Usually it's fighting because I'm a fighter, but it could be football or whatever. Yeah. And I've tried my hardest for them to reach, like do whatever in their power to reach that goal. So say like, like everyone is different. So sometimes my advice not be the best, but it's what's worked for me. So like I've got a bad past and I try my best not to think about it. And people will a lot of times say you got to go back. But my thing is why?
Why? Yeah.
They say that if you don't face it, you're going to be, And then I say, well, I've become really good at ignoring it and focusing my goals. Why can't I do that forever? And when this goal is done, then I'll have a new, and that's how I believe I'm going to be. I mean, we'll work that out later. But I really try and teach these kids that, I always tell them I'm pretty hard. I say, look, there's nothing that yous have seen or done or your dads have seen and done because most of the dads are in jail that I haven't been through myself. So I don't want to hear any sob stories. This is tough love. It's not me trying to be a hard ass or anything. And I said, I don't want to hear any of that crap. I want you to tell me what your goals are, and all I'm here is to help you reach them goals. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I don't believe in any of that stuff. Don't come to me with any of that. And I know it's hard, but I have to be like that because there's quite a few of them.
Yeah, well, I try and spend one-on-one time. You want to help them build a better future and train them. You are not a psychologist for that. But I think, like, in a way, you are right because so many people blame their parents, their past, for all the failures in life. Or I'm not where I am, or I'm a loser, or I'm like this because of my parents, or this person did this to me. And at some point, you have to let the past go, and you are in charge of your life. You are the only responsible person in your life.
Yeah, and you've got no time to worry all the hours you spend on that. Like to me, and you spend hours on counselling, you could be spending hours on training. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like
but training is a kind of like a therapy.
Yeah.
It improves your mental health. For me, when some things happen in my life, I went to train, and I don't know, it's meditation because you only focus on training, and it improves your serotonin, everything. So it's also a way of therapy.
It's mindset. It's honestly mindset. I used to call it like man's mental health or whatever, but it's actually mindset. And what I can show people with different mindsets, and I think I can help them through my mindset. Mm-hmm. So my mindset is what's got me to where I am, obviously. And I'm trying to teach all them that. They can see that from me. So not only do I try and give them this advice and I'll try and help them facilitate, but the main thing is what I'm doing with my mindset is that I'll make their mindsets like that because that's what's gonna change everything.
Yeah, of course.
That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for someone listening to us right now, what would you tell to someone who wants to go into being a professional athlete?
Just what I said then, have the right mindset. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, back yourself, believe in yourself, don't listen to anything, like any trolls or haters, because anyone is capable of doing anything. Like I'm 100% living proof of it. Like, no one believed I shouldn't be doing the things I'm doing. That's the wrong words really, because I should be doing the things I'm doing because I am doing it, and other people can.
And looking back when you were a teenager, like the same age as those who you are coaching, what would you tell yourself that nobody told you?
Yeah.
If you were your own.
Just hang in there, buddy. Everything's going to be all right. It's going to take a bit of time, but you're going to get there eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's beautiful. Well, like you never imagined to be where you are right now, I think.
I always knew when I was a teenager and all that, I always knew I was going to, as soon as I started fighting, I was training at an early age. I never got to fight until I was older, but I knew that I was, I had a gift. I met Sugar Shane Mosley, the guy that I beat 2 fights ago. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah.
And I met him when I was a kid by
You
accident.
met him.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So he was in West Australia. I think he had like a girlfriend there or something. And I was at this gym that he came to, and he could see me just lingering around watching him. And he's like, "Come on then, buddy, jump in the ring," Like he was kind to me. He didn't have to. He was he was very famous back then. I think he was fighting Floyd Mayweather. But he was very famous, and he didn't have to. And he spent time with me, gave me time, and I always remember it. And then Destiny there, I fought him. And
you fought him, like the person who
Yeah.
made you start training. Then you fought him.
Yeah,
How life
yeah.
works.
Yeah, it was Destiny 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. As soon as I got the fight, I knew that that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. And how was it for him? Like, does he remember you?
Yeah. Well, he didn't. He remembered that there was a boy in West Australia that
Yeah.
was like being like lingering around, and he remembered that because I told him the story. He remembered that, and he actually, like, before we're about to do like a face off with each other where we have to be aggressive. He actually, like, I had this jacket on and it was messy because I'm such a messy, awkward person. And he helped me with it. He come up to it before he's like, "Come here," and he helped me with it and fixed it, and he gave me a pat. And he's like, "It's all right, buddy. Just be calm, Like, and then we had to like want to kill each other, but he did that before, He knew that it was a very emotional thing for me, this fight, and I think everyone did. So yeah, it was a very overwhelming experience.
Yeah, that's what is inside, because everyone sees from outside how boxers are so tough and so strong and everything, but actually you are like little kids inside as well. Like,
Yeah,
you
we all
support
are,
each
yeah,
other
yeah.
a lot. Even though you see this, like when you are with your opponent and you are like this, like doing like this, like, yeah, I'm going to fight you, I'm gonna win, and like, but actually, like, you can be friends with your
Most are, man. Most
opponent.
fighters are, and they have to support. We have to support each other because it's very hard. Like, it's a very unfair. Just like life, it's a very unfair, hard sport.
Yeah.
There's only like a few people out of the millions trying that make it, and so they all have to be supportive. They're all risking their lives to try and be better, and it's very hard. And they really need to support each other, and all they all just need to like get along, really. And mainly do, man. Like, I've gotten on and with everyone I've fought, really. Even the last guy was probably the hardest one to get along with out of everyone, but even him, he was alright
Why
after
was
the
it
fight.
the hardest?
I just feel like he's the only guy I've come across that like genuinely felt like he was better than me, like better than everyone. And it's hard for me, obviously, growing up the way I did. Me being a boss at a young age, I feel like I earned a bit of respect back then, and it's hard for me to have someone in front of me, look down on me.
Yeah.
Which is probably arrogance and ego in itself. Really, it is. I should be able to just let that go. But there was just that feeling that he thought, that, and I could be wrong, man. He could just maybe have his own issues going on, his own shit going on. I could be completely wrong. It was just a feeling I had, and but after the fight, even he was fine. Like, he came in and we showed each other respect, and even when I was upset about, like the results.
Were you upset?
Nah,
Does it accept you sometimes? Like, you think you have won, but then the other people, they say you don't, and
So everyone come up to me and told me I'd won, and Connor was like talking about an extra round. So I thought, fuck, I've either won or it's really close. And there's not one person that like was looking at me like I'd lost. Even he looked like, I think he knew he had lost. I dropped him twice. I hit him twice as many times, which I knew, because you're obviously in the fight, you're hitting him more. And so it didn't make any sense. Like, it was a very, like, it wasn't even close. So it wasn't like a fight where there was only 10 punches in it. We're talking like I hit him twice as many times over the whole fight. That's a landslide. It's too easy to call that fight. But, everything happens for a reason. And like, you know, that loss everyone's talking about. So it's like it probably helped my career anyway. And now I've got Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter, you know.
So what have you learned from that fight that you will put forward to the next?
There's a lot, but I won't talk about it. But there's a lot.
Well, we can't spoil it. So we will see. And what did Conor McGregor say to you? Like, that must be so amazing for you. Like, one of your idols, like, congratulates you and is supporting you after a fight. I think that pushed you as well to know, like, well, I didn't do it that wrong. I didn't, as they say, or I didn't lose. Because if my idol, like, or a big legend like Conor McGregor is supporting me, like, because I guess Conor McGregor must be like so honest. So if you did it not right or it was like shit, he would tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, him and his security guards all think, you know, they all thought I won. Conor, I don't know if he directly said that to me. I think he said it to everyone else. I can't remember. I was a bit overwhelmed after the fight. He said things that really caught me, like, you know, about being a warrior and tough and things like that.
What did he say?
His security guards
basically said about Matt that you know, he was a warrior that 2 warriors went for it, you know, and like, you know, you have an Olympic champion and an IBF world champion, and 2 times, and you know, he wasn't downplaying Matt's ability to box. He just said, you know, for the context of the fight, that you know, we have a biker, you know, prison bikey guy to come in, and you know, he showing loads of balls, you know, he's loads of balls, and he found, you know, when Matt boxed exceptional, that like Conor was delighted with it, you know what I mean? He could see, because Conor has all them attributes as an Irishman, he's all them attributes of being a special talent. And he was just happy that, you know, that Matt, you know, was able to produce what he says he does, and he does it all the time, you know, and, you know, when you talk the talk, you walk the walk, to say that about Conor. That's why he's loved so much. Some people revere him, some people hate him, you know, for the wrong circumstances, to be honest with you, but when it comes from a natural sports point of view, Conor's exceptional. He's in the club, he's been a boy in the club. Philip Sutcliffe and Braz played him all his life, he's an exceptional athlete. He emulates everything that you want to be as a sports person when it gets to the ring. And Matt, he was delighted for Matt to, you know, to achieve his goal in the ring that night. And, you know, and onwards and upwards of Conor would say, I'm sure, you know, this is what Conor wants. That's why he was happy with Matt's performance and how he boxed.
So yeah, like your coach is telling like how Conor is really happy with your results, and I'm sure you will do.
Yeah, well, all his security guards that like I've met, you know, through him, that I'm, you know, I was, you know, they all, you know, I was talking to all them. Everyone thought I won the fight, you know. I mean, everyone. I'm pretty sure even the referee said I won the fight, but you know, the judges had other plans. You know, like James DeGale's a big name. Like people, you know, even if I knocked him out, I probably would have lost still. And we knew that. We knew that before we won the fight. So me complaining about it after is a bit stupid, because we all knew that, you know, even if I knocked him out, I probably would have lost. So like, it's like we knew that, and that's fine. That's all adds to my story, you know.
Yeah, so that loss was a win for you, and I think that's what keeps you going. Just to think, no, I didn't lose. Deep inside, I know I won, and I did my best, and the results are there, and that's what keeps you going. So yes, like
exactly, And Billy Joe Saunders, the guy I'm fighting now, he knows I won too. That's probably why he's giving me this fight.
Tell you?
Yeah. Well, his team have said it. They know I won the fight. That's why they're fighting me, because James DeGale is the biggest name fighter that's ever fought in the BKFC. Billy Joe Saunders will now be the biggest name, and that's why he wants to fight me, because he knows I won that fight against James DeGale. I was be wanting to fight James DeGale or someone else. He wants to fight me, because they all know all of England saying I won that fight.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's good enough.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone is so looking forward for February to come. And
it's gonna be great.
I'm also, maybe it's going to be the first boxing.
Well, it's gonna be in Birmingham.
Watch,
It's gonna be in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get you there.
It's the first one. So I learned so much from this, and honestly, I really admire your confidence, your mindset, and everything that you achieve, and who are you, keeping inspiring others and young people. And I hope a lot of people get inspired by this podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see like the results, everything. And yes, like where can my listeners find you?
Matty the Jedi Floyd, my Instagram. I've got other social media platforms, but that's like the main, like the one that I know.
Yeah.
Matty the Jedi, like Star Wars, then like Pink Floyd the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Matt Floyd. I don't know.
Yeah, so well, I will sharing this. I will be sharing this on Everybody's Lost, TikTok, and my personal Instagram is She's Veronique, and you can find us in Spotify, YouTube, Everybody's Lost podcast. And I hope you like this. You get inspired. Tell me what did you think about this, your main take of it, and subscribe if you like this episode. So thank you so much, and have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are watching
you.
us from. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Matty.
May the
Thank you.
force be with you. Thanks.